Here's something for guitar players I've been wanting to share for a long time, and it's sort of an easy method of soloing no matter what the chord changes are going on behind you. So we're going to take a simple 1-4-5 because that's basic in country and rock and blues, and we'll do it in C, keep it easy, just to get this method under your belt, and then you can apply it to whatever keys you need to. But the method is really simple, and I'll try to go as slowly as I can, and the more you practice this, the more it just becomes second nature to you. So here's what we're going to do. Most of you have been playing for a while and who are soloing will know that you can play the minor pentatonic scale over any major progression. Okay, one minor pentatonic scale over the entire progression, starting from the 6th note of that major scale. So for example, if you're in the key of C, you're going to count 6 notes up in that major scale of C major. And what you're going to come to is A. Right? C, D, E, F, G, A. And over that, you'd use the A minor pentatonic scale over that progression in C major. Right? So in other words, if you're jamming in C, you'd look for the 6th note up in the major scale of C, and whatever that note is, you'd play the minor pentatonic scale based on that note over the entire progression. So in other words, for all intents and purposes, we're playing an A minor scale over an entire C progression. So if you're playing 1-4-5 in C, right? Okay, so you're playing C, F, G. You'd play the A minor, pentatonic over the entire progression. That works over every chord. Now, if you were just to play that straight A minor pentatonic scale over the C major progression, it'd get boring real quick. It works, but you run out of licks, and you're not really emphasizing the chord changes. So here's a method that takes it up a notch, up kind of one level from just playing, you know. Oh man, messed up. Okay, so just over that. Play the A minor pentatonic over all those 3 chords in the C major progression, 1-4-5. Instead of just doing that, here's what you want to do. When the chord changes, you look for that root note in the A minor pentatonic scale. In other words, when you're playing C, in this scale, emphasize the C note. Okay? Okay, when you're over that C chord, emphasize the C note in the scale. When you go to the F chord, add the F note into that scale. Same scale, don't change it. Just look for the F, your nearest F notes. Go grab the low one if you want. So when you go to C, then it goes to the F. Emphasize those F notes. When it goes to the G, same thing. Look for your G notes here in the scale. You can add the low one. So you're not really leaving this scale. You're just emphasizing the root note of each chord as it changes. And this is applicable in any key. Doesn't matter if you're doing it in G, right? You got a 1, 4, 5 in G, G, C, D, D7, G. Count up 6 notes in the major scale from G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got E, and that's where you'll play your E minor pentatonic. Okay? And you'll do the same thing. When you're playing the G chord, you'll look for the G notes. You'll emphasize those. When it goes to the D chord, you'll stay in that same scale. But you'll look for your, when it goes to the C chord, you'll look for your C notes. When it goes to the D, same thing. So you stay in the same position. Now I'm going to make another video right after demonstrating this with some easy, simple licks, just kind of staying around there. Now, one more notch up would be this. In a major chord, the predominant notes, the sweet notes, are the notes that make up that chord, which is the root, the third, and the fifth. So if you play those notes, if you emphasize the root, the 3, and the 5 over each chord as it changes, then that's going to sound as sweet as possible. So you do the same method. Okay, let's go back to C. When you're playing the C chord, you're playing A minor pentatonic. You want to emphasize the C, but you also want to emphasize the root, the third, and the fifth. So you want to emphasize the C, the E, and the G. So look for C, E, and G in this scale. So now you have not only to emphasize the C, the root note, but as you get better at this, you can start looking for these target notes of the third and the fifth as well. So you emphasize your C, but you emphasize your E and your G as well. So if you're playing, right? Those are the notes that make up the C chord. So find them in this scale and emphasize them. Then when the chord changes to F, you do the same thing, right? In F you have the root, then you have the third, which is A, and then you have C, which is the fifth. So look for the A and the C as well as the F in this same scale. That way as the chords go by, you're just staying right in this position and just emphasizing different notes, and you can build licks around that. So you don't have to be moving all over the neck. Now it's fun to move all over the neck, but if you're singing like I do and you're out there and you're doing live entertainment, unless you had a chance to write solos or you're really fluent in moving around and you're focusing on the vocals, which I know a lot of you are, you can just kind of stay in this position, do your licks, and get back to your chords for singing. So this is a simple method for not sounding stale, but being able to hover around this same position. So again, to summarize, you play the minor scale over the major pattern. Okay, we're sticking with the 1, 4, 5 pattern here. You play the minor scale built on the 6th note of whatever key you're in. And then within that scale, emphasize the root notes of the chords as they go by. Then as you get better at that, as you get proficient at that, start adding in your emphasis not only on the root note of each chord, but the third and the fifth, all from that one scale. So you find the root, 3, and 5 of every chord as it goes by, staying in one position. There it is. This should be very interesting to you because it really is one of the simplest methods for soloing and still moving along with the chord changes. Let me show you in the next video how it sounds.